I never thought my own blood would betray me. But there I was, crumpled at the foot of the stairs, pain shooting up my spine, blood pooling near my temple. I stared up, barely conscious, as my son David stood at the top, chest heaving, eyes wide, not with regret, but rage. And it all began with a missing bank statement. I'm Henry Lancaster, 82 years old, war veteran, retired carpenter, and until last week, I had nearly $150,000 in savings from decades of honest, quiet labor. I wasn't rich, but I had enough to live on, leave something for my grandkids, maybe fix up the old farmhouse before the roof completely gave in. My wife, bless her soul, passed 5 years ago. After that, David moved in with me to keep me company, he said. At first, I welcomed it. He was my only son. We had drifted apart after he dropped out of college and bounced between jobs. But family is family. He brought his teenage daughter, Emma, too. Sweet girl, quiet, always had her head in books, unlike her father. But I began to notice changes. David had become too helpful, always hovering when the mail came, offering to run errands and pay my bills. And then there were the little things, new clothes, expensive watch, his sudden interest in stock markets and crypto, always talking about smart investing and making moves. One morning after breakfast, I asked to see the bank statement. Simple enough. I hadn't checked it in a few months. Trusted David to keep in order. He looked me in the eye and said, "It's all taken care of, Dad. Don't stress." That didn't sit right. When he left to pick up groceries, I went into his room, something I hadn't done in years. There, tucked under a pile of sports magazines, was my latest bank statement. My heart sank. 4127. That was all that remained. I sat down hard on his bed, head spinning. I looked through the rest of the documents, transfers, withdrawals, investments into shady online platforms, luxury purchases. My entire life's savings drained in a matter of months. When David returned, I confronted him. "Where's my money?" I asked quietly, holding up the statement. He froze. "What are you talking about?" "You know damn well what I'm talking about." My voice shook, but not from fear. "You stole from me." He dropped the grocery bag. A glass jar shattered on the floor. "Dad, I didn't steal. I invested for us. I had plans. You wouldn't understand. You had no right." I stepped toward him, rage flooding my chest. "I want every cent back. I'm calling the police." That's when his face changed. He looked cornered like a man who had I don't know how long I was unconscious. But when I woke, I was in a hospital bed, left hip shattered, 2 ribs broken, and my left eye nearly swollen shut. The nurse told me I had fallen. David had told him I tripped on the stairs. I tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Whether from the pain or the shock, I don't know. But something in me burned with a quiet resolve. I would not let this go. A few days later, Emma visited me alone. "Grandpa," she whispered, her eyes glassy. "I'm sorry for what, sweetheart?" I asked, voice. I saw it that night. What Dad did. My blood turned cold. I didn't know what to do. He told me you slipped, but I saw him push you. She started crying. He said if I told anyone, they'd take me away from him. I took her hand gently. "You're so brave for telling me." That night, I asked the nurse for a phone. I called a lawyer friend I hadn't spoken to in years. Then I called the police. The case took months. I had to recover in a rehab center, learn to walk with a cane. David was arrested and charged with elder abuse, theft, and attempted murder. The evidence was strong. Bank records, Emma's testimony. Even a neighbor's camera that caught the incident through the window. Blurry, but damning. I'd never wanted my son in prison. I raised him better. But this wasn't a mistake. This was betrayal. The court sentenced him to 12 years. He didn't look at me once during the trial. Emma came to live with me after that. The court granted me temporary custody. We've started a quiet life together, tending the garden, reading by the fire, and building back what was broken. Not just the finances, but the trust, the warmth. One afternoon, she asked, "Do you hate him?" I looked at her, thinking of the boy who used to fall asleep on my shoulder during Sunday sermons. The teen who begged me for a guitar, The man who stole from his own father. I don't hate him, I said, but I can't forgive him. Not yet. She nodded, as if understanding that some wounds take time to heal. People see me, an old man with a cane, and think I'm weak. But I fought wars, buried a wife, raised a child, and survived betrayal. I may have been pushed down the stairs, but I'm standing again. And this time, no one's taking me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.